You're watching local coverage you can count on. This is WANE 15 News, first at 5.
It is not time to play ball. This evening, we are expecting to officially confirm that the minor league baseball season will be canceled. Thanks for joining us. I'm Tara Brantley.
And I'm Derek Rowley. WANE 15 sports reporter Colton Howard joins us now live from Parkview Field as we await this announcement. Colton, what do we know so far?
Well, Dirk and Tara, as what we know right now is we're officially awaiting the official word from MILB, but as it looks right now, there will be no baseball played in the season of 2020. Joined with me now is TinCaps president Mike Nutter. And Mike, you were telling me just off camera that you found out kind of like the rest of us through the online this morning. Is that right?
That's absolutely right. We were notified yesterday. I heard some rumors, had some texts from some buddies saying, hey, are you hearing this is coming tomorrow? I said no. I can't say that we're shocked by it. I mean, we've been preparing internally for this announcement to come, but there has been no word of anything until today. And I haven't even seen it officially, but we've been notified it's going to break sometime around 5, and that's now. So I'm here speaking with you.
Now, what does that mean? I mean, looking ahead towards the future.
Well, it's tough because, you know, it's 34 full-time people that work here. It's 500 part-time people that work here during the summer. I mean, we're not subsidized by the Padres or Major League Baseball or minor league baseball. You know, we're a small business and we're about to embark on 19 months straight without a home game. And that's going to be challenging. At the same time, our staff is good at overcoming challenges. We have the right owner, and whenever we get back here in 2021, the party is going to be unbelievable.
Now, you guys talking about the financial side of things, you guys have taken a significant hit. I mean, what is that expecting to look like for the rest of the season?
Oh, it's going to be extremely problematic. It involves furloughs. It involves some of the best people in the country at what they do temporarily out of jobs. It's going to be tough. It's going to be losses of, over $1 million and things like that. And again, I go back to, we're a small business. You know, this is a beautiful venue, and we have an awesome partner in the city of Fort Wayne that owns the venue, and a great partner in Parkview Health. And again, I want to reiterate, we'll get through it, but this is going to be tough.
Final question is, I mean, this community here in Fort Wayne has been with you through the highs and lows of this organization. What would be your message to them tonight?
You know what, we love them, and we wish they were here right now because, the weather's been unbelievable, and trust me, I've been watching. With all the stuff going on in the country with the pandemic, with the protesting, I felt like Parkview Field and the TinCaps could have been a healer in that. Many of those 500 part-time workers are minorities, and we love them, and they're our friends, and they're a part of our team, and we feel like people could have seen us as a model or an example of how to do things right and treat people equally and with equality and with equity and with love and respect, and that's all that we've been doing for 12 years, and we'll do it again. We just can't do it anytime soon.
Well, thank you, Mike. We'll have more coming up from Parkview Field coming up at 6 o'clock, but for now, in front of Parkview Field, Colton Howard, WANE 15.
Colton, thanks. After more than a week without safe drinking water, the town of Andrews can raise a glass. Residents allowed to use the water again.
Today, Huntington County Homeland Security and the Emergency Management Office announced water restrictions have been lifted after ongoing tests by several groups. The town has been without drinking water since June 19th. A test revealed the water was contaminated above federal safe drinking water standards. Days later, the town filed a lawsuit against Raytheon, formerly known as United Technologies. The suit alleges UT contaminated the town's groundwater by dumping hazardous chemicals at the old Dana plant in Andrews, which United Technologies now owns. The lawsuit is being heard in U.S. District Court. Indiana's new hands-free law goes into effect tomorrow.
Drivers will have to put their phone away or use hands-free technology or face a ticket and up to a $500 fine. Indiana State Police Sergeant Ronald Galvez provided this information about the new law.
Did you know the use of a cell phone while driving increases your chance of getting into a crash by 400%? Did you know that sending or reading a text message takes your eyes off the road for up to 5 seconds? At 55 miles an hour, that's like driving the length of an entire football field with your eyes closed. The Indiana General Assembly has passed legislation, which was signed into law by Governor Eric Holcomb, prohibiting the holding of a telecommunications device, which includes cell phones, while operating a motor vehicle upon a public roadway. This law will go into effect on July 1st, 2020. The Indiana State Police and its law enforcement partners across the state are using this time to educate the public on what the law entails and how it will be of benefit to all motorists. It is a means by which we as motorists are keeping our hands free to properly and safely operate our vehicles without the distraction of that cell phone.
Hello?
The new law says that a person may not hold or use a telecommunications device while operating a moving motor vehicle. But there are two exceptions. The first may be used in conjunction with hands-free or voice-operated technology.
Hello?
And the second, it may be used or held to call 911 to report a bona fide emergency. With the passage of this law, Indiana will join more than 20 other states, including the District of Columbia, with hands-free driving laws.
Other laws that go into effect starting tomorrow: Hoosiers under 21 are banned from buying or having tobacco, e-cigarettes, or e-liquids. That's already a federal law. Also, state and local fees will be waived for the 5-year qualified license and the unlimited license gun permits in Indiana, with legal protections for gun owners against civil lawsuits. Find a full breakdown of some of these new laws on our website, WANE.com.
Now, your first weather from the live Doppler 15 Fury Weather Center.
Heat is the theme of our forecast all week long, and that heat verified by the numbers behind me. 90 our current temperature in Fort Wayne and Auburn, 89 in Defiance, 88 in Van Wert, 87 in Columbia City. Down in the south, we are a little bit cooler, down the low to mid 80s. In those areas, some scattered rain and thunderstorms have been present throughout the day, all because that same lingering stationary front, which has produced periods of rain over the course of the past 24 hours, it still lingers in that very same spot. So a slight chance at some additional rain in those southern and western sections of the area tonight. The rest of the area staying dry. Temperatures slowly falling. 87 still at 6, at 8, 83, down in the 70s after that. By the time we get to early in the morning, right before sunrise, we'll be as low as the mid-60s. Coming up in the 10-day forecast, the heat continues, and I have the latest forecast numbers to share.
Nicholas, thank you. 2 pets are dead after a fire at a home southwest of downtown Fort Wayne. Firefighters were called to 1907 Hale Avenue, just off Brooklyn Avenue, before 9:30 this morning. Crews arrived and found smoke coming from a second-floor window. When they entered, there was a small fire on the first floor. It was under control within 16 minutes. The home had minor fire and water damage, moderate smoke damage. No one was home except the 2 pets.
An Andrews woman is recovering after rolling her car last night. According to the Wells County Sheriff's Department, Ellen Lamb was driving east on County Road 1100 South. When she swerved to miss an animal, she lost control of the vehicle, which then rolled and caught on fire. Lamb was taken to a hospital in serious condition. The crash remains under investigation.
Indiana Governor Eric Holcomb has signed an executive order to extend prohibitions on evictions, foreclosures, and utility disconnections. This in response to the ongoing pandemic. The prohibition is extended through July 31st. The governor's office encourages renters, homeowners, lending institutions, and landlords to establish payment plans to avoid later evictions or foreclosures. The executive order also extends a temporary licensing of healthcare workers who don't hold an active license for an additional 30 days.
After the pandemic forced Work One career centers to close their lobbies to guests, they are set to reopen next week with a few changes. Staff at the centers practicing extensive safety precautions and encouraging customers to follow certain safety procedures as well. Customers are asked to wear masks and encouraged to adhere to a social distancing protocol and practice hygiene measures once inside the centers. Because of the safety precautions, walk-in customers will be limited. People must continue to file for unemployment benefits online.
Fort Wayne Trails has put in new signs to help you find your way. They were installed on the section of the Puffer Belly Trail between Washington Center and Union Chapel. The Northeast Indiana Regional Coordinating Council began working to brand the more extensive network and provide wayfinding information. Wayfinding signs are a necessary part of trail users who are roaming trails that are not familiar.
And we would love to have the public's input on these signs, what they like about the signs, how we can improve these signs, because eventually we want to expand this sign project to not just the Fort Wayne area trails, but also northeastern Indiana trails as we all expand our trail networks and we want to connect with one another.
This stretch of the Puffer Belly is part of the State of Indiana Visionary Trail. The 82-mile trail will connect users from Pokagon State Park in Angola to Wabash State Park in Bluffton. Coming up on First at 5, the superintendent of Indiana's largest school district celebrates retirement with a goodbye parade. What Dr. Wendy Robinson says she'll miss most.
Plus, Science Central debuts a new limited-time-only exhibit. All that and more when your #1 News at 5 returns.
Local coverage you can count on continues with Tara Brantley and Dirk Rowley. You're watching WANE 15 News, first at 5.
After working more than 40 years in the Fort Wayne Community Schools District, Superintendent Dr. Wendy Robinson is now retired.
It became official today. To wish her well, the district and the city hosted a big celebration. A farewell parade took place at Northrop High School. Mayor Tom Henry kicked things off with a proclamation declaring this Wendy Robinson Day. Robinson has been an educator for more than 47 years, 17 of those as superintendent.
I'm trying to focus on all the positive things. I was cleaning up my office and I made myself remember and laugh. Everything I had in my office had a purpose and a reason. So that's the way I've tried to be. Take care.
Former Leo Junior Senior High School principal and Northside grad Dr. Mark Daniel will take over for Robinson. Earlier this month, I sat down with Dr. Robinson. We talked about her legacy and many other topics. You can find the entire interview, about 25 minutes long, on our website, WANE.com. Dr. Robinson, not the only educator leaving a leadership position today, so is the longest serving president of the University of St. Francis. Today, Sister M. Elise Chris is retiring. She has been at USF for 37 years, the first 10 as an undergraduate dean and academic vice president, the last 27 as president. During that time, she has been a driving force behind the expansion of the university beyond its main campus on Spring Street. We talked about what she hopes the incoming president will pursue to help the school grow even more.
Maybe building endowment. That's another important thing for small schools like us. We went from like 2 million to 30, but you know, it should be like 10 times that if we really want an endowment that's going to be supportive of into the future. So that is an effort I think that the new president probably will be looking at, is how we can build that endowment moving forward.
You can hear the entire interview right now on WANE.com. Tonight at 6, Sister Chris will talk about working through the pandemic and setting the stage for this man, incoming president, Reverend Dr. Eric Zimmer.
Science Central is offering a new exhibit to visitors for the next few months. The Flexhibits, as they're called, were developed by engineers, architects, scientists, and teachers. How about an air rocket to learn physics, or a Bernoulli table to learn air pressure? You'll also find a circuit bench, a magnet table, a ring launcher, and a quake table. It's all to educate kids and adults in physical, natural, and applied sciences. The exhibit is available now through September 13th. And now, Nicholas has a lesson in heat.
Yeah, the big lesson in heat. It looks good to be at Science Central in the air conditioning indoors because we've got plenty of heat in our forecast here. We've been experiencing it this week with another day in the 90s today and plenty more 90-degree heat to come. Your 10-day forecast after the break.
Local coverage you can count on continues with Chief Meteorologist Nicholas Ferreri's live Doppler 15 Fury forecast.
The heat is increasing across the area, and so too is our 90-degree day count for the year so far. We are now up to 9. That includes today's 90. And when you look out in the 10-day forecast, which is filled with 90s, well, we're going to easily surpass last year's total of 15. Our current temperature in Fort Wayne is 90 degrees. Winds are blowing in from the east at 11 miles per hour. We've got plenty of heat, but not much humidity in the big picture. Relative humidity, 39%. That dew point comfortable at 62. 89 in Defiance, 88 in Columbia City and Warsaw, 89 in Decatur, 86 in Bluffton. A little bit cooler down to the south, 82 in Hartford City, 84 in Marion, and it's because in those places we've seen some scattered rain and more cloud cover. Here this evening, temperatures gradually falling through the 80s. Will be in the upper 70s at 9 o'clock. Mid-70s by 10, that takes us into the late night and overnight. Temperatures during that stretch fall into the 60s. We wake up to temperatures in the mid-60s right before sunrise. The muggy meter sits at comfortable, and in the days ahead, even though we do see an increase, it's just slight. By the time we get to Thursday, we're up into humid territory, and we'll stay humid for Friday and through the remainder of our holiday weekend. On Storm Tracker, the scattered rain and thunderstorms do continue in some spots across northern Indiana. Some of you have experienced rain on and off at times from the morning, especially if you're anywhere from Fort Wayne west and south. Areas to the north and northeast really haven't seen anything, and that's because you're just too far away from the stationary front, which has been hanging around over the past couple of days. The rain never gets to you. As we head through the evening here, while the entire area at this point is dry, some scattered rain does remain possible. It's a 20% shot, similar to what we saw last night, and it remains just for those areas to the west and south of Fort Wayne. And it's not out of the question that some spots in Fort Wayne could pick up some rain tonight, too. On Futurecast for the evening here, you see that slight chance of scattered rain showing up, steering clear of those northeasterly spots. We move into morning, and at that point, our temperatures will be down in the mid-60s, 64 our low in Fort Wayne. During the day tomorrow, a lot of sunshine to talk about in the morning and the afternoon, just a few scattered clouds around. High temperatures will end up near 90. While there will be some scattered rain around, it stays away from us to our west and south. Here's your forecast for tomorrow. Winds from the east between 5 and 10 miles per hour at 8 in the morning. 69 by noon. We'll be at 81. Then at 4 o'clock, our temperature 87. 90 tomorrow's high. The same in Paulding and Decatur. 91 in Huntington and Wabash. We jump ahead to Saturday, the 4th of July. That forecast remains a partly cloudy, hot and humid one with a high of 92. We look ahead to Sunday. At that point, we're up to 94. Monday, 95. Tuesday, 93. Wednesday, 94. Thursday, 92. And Friday, 93. You see what I mean? Every day in the 90s for the next 10 days. That's your forecast. We have more news after this.
This week on the 2-Minute Money Plan, we're talking about inherited retirement accounts and how recently passed legislation offers owners more flexibility. Greg Reynolds of Reynolds Wealth Management joins us every Tuesday on First at 5. And Greg, as the CARES Act was signed into law this spring, how does that affect inherited retirement accounts?
Well, it certainly has a nuance to them that now allows investors to potentially hit the pause button on any required minimum distributions from their inherited IRA this year.
How so?
Well, the legislation just simply allows for that provision. If you haven't taken your RMD already, you don't have to take it in the 2020 calendar year, irrespective of your age. That applies to both traditional IRAs, but also inherited IRAs, and that's something that's really important for most investors to understand.
Why is that so important?
Well, what's really important about it is most firms, financial advisors or large shops, money management shops, put these things on autopilot. So when you inherit the IRA, whether you just got it this year or whether it's something you've had for a while, when you went through the account opening process, the big firms will almost certainly have put you on a distribution notice. So they're going to kick that required minimum distribution out to you unless you take some sort of proactive action. So if you haven't already taken it this year, this is the time to either engage your financial advisor or engage your money management firm in some respect to have a conversation about whether it's appropriate or whether there might be some other options.
And what would you stress in that conversation?
Well, I would stress that the tax implications can be significant, not only from the standpoint of the tax bill itself, but also then the reduction of principal, which is there to grow in future years in the retirement account. So it's really important that if you have the ability to maintain cash flow or meet your needs elsewhere that doesn't have the same tax consequences, that I think you seriously evaluate whether or not you should, in fact, potentially postpone or not take altogether that distribution this year and allow another year of compounding of principal in that account so that you get some more robust growth.
And this is a big change, so it's something, if it applies in your situation, you want to take advantage of it.
Absolutely, and this is very likely the only time that this will ever happen. I'll be surprised if in future years you ever have this opportunity again, so I think this is kind of a once-in-a-lifetime shot to delay or not take that required minimum distribution entirely for the 2020 calendar year.
Very important. Great information as always, Greg. Thanks for that. For more information about making sound financial decisions, you can contact Greg Reynolds at Reynolds Wealth Management. Next Tuesday on First at 5, we'll tackle another topic on the 2-Minute Money Plan. And be sure to join me tomorrow morning along with Alyssa, Greg, and Brianne on First News between 5 and 7 a.m. We'll be right back.
Lots of heat, but not huge amounts of humidity. That's the story of the 10-day forecast. 90 tomorrow, 91 on Thursday. By Friday, we're up to 94.
We like the sound of that.
Yeah, not a bad mix.
Nicholas, thank you.
And thank you. We'll see you right back here at 6.